Hey guys, what's up? Good morning, everybody. I think usually we launch at 8 a.m. Pacific, which for me in Arizona was 9 a.m. Now, after daylight savings, that means it's like really 8 a.m. for me. So we're pushing this to 9 a.m. Pacific until daylight savings next year, and then we'll push it back. This is the time that works for me. Hope you guys can join me. I'm excited to have you guys here. So, what are we talking about today? Um, so last night in my packaging course that I teach at ASU, one of the things that we sat down and discussed was really getting the word out and and saying, and showing how to not just design packaging, but how to showcase our packaging, how to get a job, and how to get noticed. You know, I'd love to be jumping out of that bus every morning for you guys. Um, it makes me laugh every time I put that intro because it is the goofiest intro. It just reminds me from when I was a kid and the goofy shows that I'd watch, like Three's Company and um, I don't know, just all those goofy shows where they're silly intros. Loved it. So if you guys are joining me for the very first time, please leave a comment to say hey that you're here for the first time. I know last time we had people coming in from all over the world, so if you don't mind, just drop your city where you're at so we can know where everybody's coming from and who's attending this class. So good morning, Guillermo. We've got a LinkedIn user here. I think it's in your settings that you can either display or not display. So sometimes you'll know, but so hello to you as well. And um, so in the class last night, we were talking about sharing your work and posting it on LinkedIn and making sure that people recognize you for the work that you're doing. One of the students did have a comment. They're like, you know what? One of my other professors has said that it's not good to post your work, that it's not great to have your work online to have other people critique it. What's up, Reggie? How's it going, buddy? Always good to see you. And the comment was, we don't want to post our work because then somebody's going to see it and they may not like it. And if they don't like it, then they may not hire you because they don't like your work, um, which could be a valid point. But I think for the most part, my response was just don't post crappy work, right? Don't post work that you don't want to get, that you don't want to be recognized for. Make sure that what you're posting online is great work. Otherwise, there's no point to do it because there's a million trolls out there and they will just tear you apart. So let's see who's coming in. We've got somebody coming in from Detroit, Rock City. We've got Buenos Aires, of course. Ciao, Guillermo. We've got people coming all over the place. Houston, Texas. Good morning, y'all. First time. Stefano from Italy. Ciao, Stefano. And we got New Jersey coming in also. So amazing. Really, really getting a good coverage here, which is awesome. So where do you post your work and why would you post your work? So I'm going to show you just a quick example here. I'm going to share my screen. Not only a bunch of places where you should post your work, and you may think, okay, well, maybe I'm not a packaging designer, I'm a packaging manufacturer, right? And I think packaging manufacturers, you should be posting work here as well. You produce the work, then you should be recognized for it. If you're a designer, you should post your work, get recognized for it. If you are doing 3D renderings for an agency for packaging, then you should definitely be posting it as well. Just making sure that you're giving everybody credit where credit is due, but make sure that you're posting your work. It's the web is insane, and the fact that people are not sharing their work enough is just crazy. And there's a lot of different places where you can post your work. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up a few of those here and then just give you a quick story as to why it's super important. Ryan, awesome. If you guys don't know Ryan, you should definitely connect with him. He does a great piece that comes out in Bloomberg on packaging and the packaging industry. There's a lot of information. He's doing a ton of research. He's always looking for more content and definitely, I think, more connections so that you can share the packaging story more. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen. All right, so this is an example. It's an old example, but you can just see the power of it here. This is the dieline.com. I did spend some time working with those guys for a few years, but this is back from 2014. Yeah, 2014. This was the day that Tim Cook had done his big presentation, right? His big keynote speech on the new Apple Watch. He was up on stage talking about the Apple Watch, talking about all the technology behind it and everything that was amazing about the product itself. Never once during that conversation did he talk about the packaging, and nobody really cared, right? He's not up there to talk about the packaging, he's up there to talk about the product. But we're watching this live, and I turned to one of the designers I'm working with and I say, well, I'm charging my phone, I'm charging my iPhone, I'm charging my laptop. Now I've got to get another product and I'm gonna have to charge that. And today now we've got our earpods and we've got to charge another product on top of that. So before the product had even launched, before he was even done and had come off the stage, we sat down and we discussed it. We're like, well, we've got all these products to charge, and how many outlets do we really have? And it's funny because like I think back to when I was a kid and we'd move houses, we'd never look and see how many outlets there were. You never really cared. Now it's like you look around and you're like, oh, there's not enough outlets in this house because we're charging so many different things. So we said, what wouldn't it be cool if the packaging was able to charge the product, or if the packaging had more than just one uh, use? So we started sketching things out, and within 15 minutes, we had a solution. It wasn't the solution, but it was a solution. And you can see here, there's like the sports version, and then there was the Luxe version, which he had talked about. He'd only shown the white version, so we had come up with some different colors for it. And what we had created was, a base, a charging station, an insert, and all the cabling, all the information that came with it, and then like a clear plastic um, cover, similar to what you would see at the time for iPods. They would come in this plastic case. And the way that this thing worked was the insert itself was to charge the watch and to charge your phone at the same time. And you would just plug in. And then we also said, well, why not have a dual plug so that you can plug two USBs into one? Not knowing the technology behind it, not knowing the what it would take to actually do it, we just rendered it, put it together, and shared it. I sent it over to the guys at the Die Line. They posted it within 15 minutes of Tim Cook coming off stage, and within minutes there were millions of views of this post because people were searching for it, and all of a sudden people felt like, oh, this is the real package. It's just a concept, but they felt like this is the real pack. And my phone started ringing. This was before there were even chargers for watches and phones, and that's pretty common now. At this point, you can go anywhere, Best Buy, and there's a ton of these that you can buy. But at that time, there was no need because there was no product to actually service with this. So I had people calling and saying, "Hey, we want to buy the rights to this design. We want to buy the patent for this." And people were offering all sorts of crazy money. And silly me as a designer, I'm like, well, it's already online. There's no patent. There's no product. This is just a concept. And it almost feels as if this launched an entire industry of chargers. So why should you be sharing your work? It's because you get noticed. It's going to get your phone to ring. It's going to get people to understand what you do and the way that you think. So it's really important that you do that. So where should you do that? One of the places that you should do it, definitely the Die Line. Dieline.com, you can share stuff. They got this goofy thing happening here. Obviously, it's going to be April 1st coming up, so April Fools. But if you go to the top right, there's a submit button. You click that, and then you submit your packaging. All right, and they've got guidelines. You figure out what it is that your product is. It's really important that you put together a story about your packaging. Again, if you're a manufacturer, photograph the packaging, tell your story of the manufacturing, the challenges, the materials, the agency it worked with, all of that stuff. That's always super, super important. Another place to share your work is Behance. Behance.net. You go there, you create an account. If you've got Adobe, you already have Behance. You just have to log in, and you can come in here and type in packaging. And you're going to see all sorts of packaging. This isn't like you go to one site and you upload your work. You go to all of them and you submit your work. Behance is your own portfolio, so you can create any type of work that you can share all the work that you want. Cash or fame. that's, that's 100%, man. It's like, what are you've got to get this, you got to get the word out. So when you go to post these things, how do you photograph your product? How do you share it? Take a look at the way other people are sharing it. I'm seeing a lot of colorful backgrounds. Maybe that makes sense. Um, you know, we're seeing these grid layouts, a nice fun layout here. Again, another colorful background. If your photographs don't look or feel like this, then it's time to reshoot them. If it doesn't feel up to this level, then you definitely need to reshoot your packaging and post it. Renderings work as well, but Behance is a great place to start. Dialine is another one. Another one that I really like is packaging of the world. And these are really simple. They've got a button up here for submit your project, and packaging of the world has allowed, they've changed, and what they've done is they've allowed you to create your own page. And it's almost like a Behance now. Plus, it's a great repository for amazing packaging. Again, look at the way people are posting it. This is beautiful packaging here from Butterfly Cannon. They've been on my podcast, not I think last week. They do amazing work. You can kind of scroll down and see everything else here. Make your photography as desirable as the packaging itself. It's not about just posting your pack on a white background. It's telling a story, getting people excited about working with you. And they'll click on here. We'll see this. They'll read about you. Make sure you've got links to your LinkedIn, to your website, to your personal portfolio. And when they go to your personal portfolio or your company website, make sure that there's a clear call to action that's going to tell them, click here to work with X, click here to get amazing beverage packaging, whatever that is. It's really important to do that. The other one that's amazing is Pentawards. Now, Pentawards, I'm doing a program with them on the podcast with a ton of great designers. But one thing I will say is that this is probably the most difficult one to find where to submit your work. I've gone here and I've gotten to it, but with Pentawards, when you come on here, there's a button here to submit your work. This is great, but getting to this place is difficult, and it's the Pentawards sphere. So if you go to, gosh, I can't remember where it was, but you're gonna have to hunt it down. I think it was in the latest news and articles, and then you find the Pentawards sphere, and then you have to find the submit. So it definitely takes a few steps to get there, but they're super worth getting in front of. Then there's VPNO. These guys are amazing. Well, this guy is amazing. VPNO.org. This is a specific style. So definitely minimalist, Swiss inspired design. You can submit your work to him, and if it fits, he'll post it. And if it's the first time that your product is being posted anywhere online, there's a better chance of being posted. So make sure that anytime you're submitting something, let them know, hey, I haven't submitted this to any of the other websites yet. You'll be the first, because everybody wants to be the first. All these sites are based on content, and if they don't have the newest, latest content, then they're kind of falling behind. So make sure you let them know when you're submitting. Creative Boom is another one, which they've got some really cool stuff here. But you go to the site, and up here, Creative Boom, get featured. This is beyond packaging. This is like graphics, 3D, all sorts of stuff. But you come here, submit to Creative Boom. Again, tell them a story, tell them who you are, what challenges you went through to develop the packaging, what sustainable solutions you have. Just give them a reason to post this. Make sure that you put your name in the content so that there is that SEO for you. Another amazing one is Abuzido. These guys have been around for years. I mean, since I was a young designer. So I can't imagine how long these guys have been around at this point. But, come here, find, get featured, you get an ad, and then, submit your work. Again, same thing. Then you've got your Graphic Design USA. Now, Graphic Design USA, they do a packaging awards contest or a packaging contest. That's awesome. But they've also got a website. They don't have a get featured button, but what they do have is editorial submissions. So you can write an article about your product, a quick 2-paragraph article about what it is that your project did, what you overcame, your solutions, and share it with them through their email. And getting posted there is awesome. LinkedIn is also another great place to do it. And I like to go to Kim Kaup's page because she's got a killer banner. You know, it's not just a banner; it tells you exactly what's happening when it's happening. And I tell myself, I got to make myself a banner like this for this class to make sure people know. But I just never get around to it. But this is definitely something that's important. I'm a packaging designer. This is what I do. I'm a packaging manufacturer. This is what I do. Here's how to contact me, like something along those lines. She even has, this where you can click it and schedule it for yourself. And if you scroll down, one thing that I really like is this featured section. And these guys aren't the greatest, but these two here are awesome. Where the image that she's got on screen is almost a banner. So you're not even reading this; you're reading this here. And then this is just a great image that says, work with me. Again, things that you need to do on your LinkedIn page. And, these are things that I think you can do easily. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to put that together. But hey, it's Megan Gamble, the project execution her. She's amazing project manager. Definitely connect with her. But I think, again, every one of us can use a little bit more exposure to get more work, right? And as we build our network, LinkedIn has some great solutions. I think if we are all connected and we're all sharing each other's work and we're all commenting on each other's work, it helps build this community of packaging designers. Now, this packaging class is here to teach you how to design packaging. But if you're not getting noticed, if you're not putting your work out there in all of these different sites, then it's really hard to get new work. I will share one last site, which I think everybody should be familiar with, because this is workandcompany.myportfolio.com. It's an unfortunate URL, but it's an amazing site. And this is Gene Portnoy. I had him on the podcast. His whole story, if you read through this, he's got a killer sense of humor, which you're going to get. There's a little bit of sarcasm there, which you're going to get when you work with him. And then if you check out his work section, all of this work is work that he's created for himself. This isn't a brand. This isn't anything. He just developed it. He was, having dumplings and had an idea of what if this combination of this artistic style and like this type style kind of came together, and he created this whole system here. Then he shares it to Pinterest. He shares it, through his Instagram page, gets a ton of coverage, and a company reaches out to him and says, "Hey, I really love this design. Can I buy this design and apply it to my company?" So he created a faux project and it turned into a real project. He's redesigned the whole thing and has relaunched it for a new brand, updating the artwork, updating the type here with their name. Basically they got a whole rebrand, a whole packaging for a particular price tag. And again, check out workandcompany.myportfolio.com to see the other work that he's done, because that's happened quite a bit for him. So if you're a designer out there, this is a great way to build a business. It's a great way to get noticed. Pinterest is one that I didn't show you, but it's one that you should definitely be posting to. Super amazing stuff. If you got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Keep leaving your comments in here. I always check back. And I'll put in all the links to all these pages where you should be posting. If you do start posting, go ahead and tag me. I'd love to share your work. And keep it up, guys. Thanks so much. That's my time. I'll see you guys next week, Friday. See if I can wrap this thing up here the right way with an outro. See you guys.